to us today at Pro Boxing Fans.
Yes, sir.
Just quick few questions. So the first one, based on Anthony's last fight against Mr. Avalanche, didn't really look like he got a scratch from where we were watching. What did you make of the performance?
Well, very good performance. You know, it's like I keep on saying, Anthony's in a embryonic stage of his career, regardless of world ranking or British ranking. From the standpoint of a manager, you know, I really have to take time and take steps to navigate his career in a way whereby when the right challenges come, meaning world titles, we're adequately tooled up. We're adequately tooled up to not only win the world title, but defend it for a very long time. And so part of my job is to pick the right opponents for Anthony, different styles. You know, Tony Ajayi was a guy that posed questions which we'd never answered before, or we'd never been asked to answer, which was a tall, rangy fighter, long limbed, and a mover, a runner, to be honest with you, because from the opening bell he felt Anthony's jab, and he just decided to go on his back foot. So it was a bit different from the previous fights where guys came forward and then realised that that was a mistake. You know, this guy right from the off was on his back foot. So Anthony had to think a little bit, and it was great because, you know, he showed patience. He showed that he had the ability to knock someone out past round 4. You know, take his time, break the guy down slowly, and get the job done. So I was very happy with the performance, and on to the next one.
And so speaking about the next one, 23rd, 02, yes. 23rd June, 02. Who's that with? Obviously you might not be able to tell us, but what can we expect opponent-wise then?
Well, I've made it no secret that, you know, part of Anthony's education in the ring would be to fight a left-hander, southpaw. You know, because when you start going into the different levels of the sport, e.g. world-class boxing, you don't only get orthodox fighters, you get southpaw fighters. And I mean the current world champion, the current WBC world champion is a southpaw. So I've asked for a southpaw, you know, in the top 50 at least. You know, because I feel that in the top 50 or thereabouts, you can even say top 70, is kind of the level where I feel that Anthony should be progressing at this moment in time. And top 70, but I've asked for in the top 50 because, you know, we are ranked quite high in the WBO and the IBF. So we really, you know, we want to be fighting guys which are not world champions, maybe guys that have fought for world titles, but are not just going to lay down. You know, we're at a stage of our career where every fighter and every fight that Anthony Yarde has is they're coming to win. There ain't nobody coming for a paycheck or a lie down. These guys, and if you even, you know, I remember saying to Andy, I looked at Tony Avalanche's eyes at the weigh-in. I said, yeah, you're coming to fight. You know, and I'm expecting that for every fight. So this fight, hopefully there should be an announcement in the next couple of weeks. And I hope the matchmaker, Jason McCoy, has done the great job he's done so far and deliver what I've asked for, which is a southpaw.
And in terms of a world title challenge,
yes,
where is Anthony in your mind, and how many more kind of fights do you think it'll be before, you know, that sort of challenge, well, talk of that challenge is going to be? It's
like I've said from the beginning, and I'm sure Anthony has said it, because anything that usually comes from my mouth is in Anthony's mouth. Anything that's in my mind is Anthony's mind. And my standpoint on that is always one fight at a time. To be honest with you, Andy could win a world title now, because I know what I know. I know what is in boxing. I live boxing, I study boxing, and I know what I see, and I know what I saw from the very beginning. And you only need to go back and look at the interviews. I said Anthony Yarde is special, and was I wrong? Well, a person who only had 12 amateur fights and only had 15 professional fights is already ranked #2 in the world. And everybody but Doc Cotton from EastEnders is calling him out. So we're doing our job. But yes, to answer the question, who knows? It could be in his next fight. It could be in a fight after. It could be like early part of New Year. The main thing for me, as I keep saying, everything is timing, and if the right fight were to present itself, and firstly as a manager I said, yeah, you know, that interests us. The next thing I would do, I'll sit down with Anthony and I'll say, Anthony, what is your feeling? Because this isn't where the promoter starts calling out fighters calling out fights for fighters, but the fighter in his heart don't want to fight, which is what promoters.
You said he was offered a fight recently,
yes,
and he was up for it.
Yes, and I said no. Yeah, because that's what I keep telling people. My job, Anthony, see, it's different. Most jobs you have an employer-employee situation, and usually the employee listens to what the employee says. Anthony has actually employed me. So even though I'm the manager, I've been employed by Anthony to do a particular job. So therefore, when I make the decision, Anthony's already left it in my hands. So he's a fighter. Anthony Yarde is a fighter. We come from the road, and we don't make no excuses. Where we come from, if a man calls your name, it's fight time. But you know, you have road situations, and then you have professionalism. You know, we're in a professional sport, and I'm the manager, and my job is, and the trainer, because I'm blessed. I'm the manager and his trainer. I'm very blessed to be in that position. So we have to put ego aside and make calculated decisions. And a fight was offered. I told Anthony about it, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, and we don't. They've offered it. He's like, Anth's like, come man, let's brat this guy up. Yeah, I'm ready. And I'm like, relax, Ant, relax. You see, because I've been in the game. You understand? I've been in the game for 20 years. You know, and boxing is a very fragile thing. You have to take time, and especially when you've got a talent. You know, again, how many fights did Ricky Hatton fight before he had a world title? You need to go, the listeners, the viewers need to go and do some research and see how many fights Ricky Hatton had before he fought for the WBE world title, and how much experience he had prior to becoming a professional. You're dealing with someone who's had 12 amateur fights. 11 of those amateur fights went by way of KO. So even as an amateur, he never had experience, because we knocked everybody out, bar one. And so we go become professionals, same thing. We're knocking everybody out. So the actual ring time will be dependent on the opponent. So I've just got to take time, look at the fights, see if it makes pounds and cents as well. Because people have to understand, this ain't no, oh yeah, let me just fight him because the guy down the pub says Anthony Yarde and this person's going to be a good fight. It don't work like that. We work to get in this position we are now. And there's a reason why we're in this position. Hard work, dedication, sacrifice, you know, and I feel that why should somebody, just because another person says, oh yeah, that would be a good fight, come and have the right to take our position? No, you better go and work for the position. You better go and fight some ranked fighters in the top 50, because I'm not going to call their name, but people need to go back and look at the rankings of the guys who they have fought. And you're talking about guys who are Commonwealth medalists, guys who are Olympians. They're fighting guys who are ranked 864. But yet, us, who've only had 12 amateur fights, are fighting guys in the 50s. So people need to go and do the research. I don't really expect the fans to do the research. And I don't expect rival promoters to tell you the truth. But guess what? Tunde Ajayi is going to tell you the truth.
And you obviously speak very highly of his talent,
yes,
and you always have done. He's definitely got the speed and power on his day to be better than anyone.
Yes.
Is that his biggest strength, you think, the speed and power?
No, because, sorry to talk about myself again, but every fight I've ever brought through my system has speed and power. The difference is I've developed those traits in them. The difference with Anthony had power when he came. When I started working with Anthony, the thing what stood out most was his power. So I'm like, oh, my prayers have been answered. I've actually now had someone who has natural gifts, and then I could improve those natural gifts and make them better, make them even more powerful under my system and more faster than they were when they came to me. And if anyone doubts that, go and look at Anthony's first fight and go and look at Anthony's 15th fight. Go and look at how Anthony started his career and go and look at Anthony now. So what I've taken is gold and made it. Is platinum worth more than gold?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Make it into a diamond.
Nice.
You understand? So Anthony had everything. Anthony had all the attributes. I just feel that I've enhanced it.
What was the biggest area you think of his game that had to improve? Or?
That was the. Sorry, I went totally on one. Right. The answer to your question was his biggest attribute is his mentality. Yeah. It's his mind. Anthony has the ability to block out everything, and it's an attribute that superstars, I would say, they're born with that. Because to be able to focus your mind on a particular point when all around you is going chaotic is a definite skill, and Anthony, for me, that's his number one attribute. His mindset, his mind, not the power, not the speed, not the technicality. It's his brain, it's his mind. He's very, very focused.
And I was saying to him, he's gone obviously 15 fights, pretty much 14 knockouts. I don't think he's gone the distance, and he reminded me also in his amateur days he hadn't gone the distance as well, I don't think. So is that a concern, like as he starts stepping up, will he able to last the distance, or do you think his natural talent is just going to...
Well, I remember John Rawlins asked me this question very early in his career. You know, are you not worried about rounds? Well, guess what? If you're a professional fighter and you're worried about can you go the distance, someone ain't doing their job.
Aim of the game is knock them out.
No, that's not. No, either the fighter's not doing his job or the trainer's not doing his job. Why would I be? That's like questioning Ronaldo's fitness on a 90-minute football match with no injury. What are you going to question the fact that Ronaldo can run for 90 minutes? You wouldn't, because he's a professional. Professional boxing means that you can go the distance, and if you can't go the distance and you're a professional fighter, you're not doing your job properly. I've never had a fighter, I've never trained a fighter in the history of training that cannot go 100 rounds. So I hope no one ain't thinking of that as a game plan to when they come and fight at the yard, because you're gonna be breathing up. You're the one that's gonna be breathing, worrying or saying to yourself, did I do my running this morning? Did I do my swim? We ain't worried about no rounds. We can do as much rounds as you want and punch hard for the whole 12 rounds, whole 15 rounds. That's not even in my mindset.
And so a lot of names have been calling, or supposedly calling, Anthony, I should say. Yes. So we've had obviously Frank Buglioni months ago, following his defeat to Callum Johnson. Yes. Anthony kind of, I think, suggested he's out of the picture for you guys. Not sure he ever was in the picture for you guys.
No. I mean, listen, Frank is trained by my closest friend in boxing, Don Charles, and it's not a fight I would have liked because just of the fact of our relationship. You understand? I just feel that there's enough belts and people have their own paths and journeys for us not to meet. But as I say, we come from a certain area where we were just going on our journey, me and Anthony, stopping off at Shake Shack, Five Guys, sheesh, eating our food, and then we just looked at the internet and I heard this guy calling us out, and he kept on calling us out, kept on mentioning our name. So I phoned Don Charles. I'm like, bruv, sorry, not bruv. I'm like, Don, what's the matter with your friend? He keeps, and Don was like, don't worry about it. But then as time went on, the fight just kept on, people just kept on talking about it. So I'm like, nah, you know what, let's just put our friendship aside and let's have a fight. The fight never materialized because I feel that he didn't actually want the fight. Again, it's the promoter talking. Sometimes promoters are there to do what they're paid to do, which is promote. But my thing is that if the fighter doesn't want to fight, why would you fall for that thing where you're listening to promoter, boosting up, hyping up the fight, and then you don't want to fight, and then you know what happened after? He goes and get knocked out. So not only did you open your mouth and call our name and say you want to fight, you ended up with egg on your face and being embarrassed in the first round.
And what about Callum Johnson then?
Callum Johnson, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the promoter saying he wants to fight. You show me an interview where Callum Johnson said, I want to fight Anthony Yarde. Because he's smart. He ain't falling for that trick. and Joe Gallagher ain't falling for that trick. Because Joe Gallagher knows you're in boxing, you let things happen, take their natural course. You know, we're fighters, we're all fighters. You don't need to go in all that trash talk business. Like, we're not on that. We feel that we let our actions speak louder than our words. So myself and Anthony don't feel that we need to start belittling other fighters or saying that, oh, we're gonna knock you out and everything. We don't need to do that. When you come in a ring with us, you see what time it is.
And I guess the latest name was Joshua Buatsi.
What's the word? The Nigerian word. Oh, I've got it. There's a Nigerian word. My dad told me today, as if to say, God forbid. Why would you call us out for it?
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. You've had 5 fights against guys that are ranked number 800 or 600. Not only that, have you even had an 8-rounder? I don't think so. Not only that, with the British Boxing Board of Control sanction a fight with a guy who's only had 5 fights against guys who are in the thousands ranking. So again, it's just talk. You're just talking for nothing. You're just trying to use our name to popularize your name. But really, in the cold facts of the matter is Joshua Buatsi has not even had 10 fights. You're not even ranked. I think he's on the point system of BoxRec. I think he's got 23 points. We have 110 points. So that shows you the distance between Anthony Yarde and Mr. Buatsi. The only thing I like about Joshua, very respectful. Every time I've seen him, you know, he's very respectful to me. He's not said no bad thing to me. But I think, I don't know, who's managing Joshua Buatsi? Who's ever managing him is giving him wrong advice. You shouldn't be calling Anthony's name. Because let me tell you something. Anthony Yarde ain't that guy that you fought the other day who you took 5 rounds to knock out, who a guy who had 4 fights and 2 draws knocked out in 2 rounds. That guy, the guy who had 4 fights and 2 draws, not the guy you took 5 rounds out, knocked him out in 2 rounds. A guy that if I phoned the British Boxing Board of Control and asked them to fight Anthony Yarde, they would take my license. They will withdraw my license from the British Boxing Board of Control because they'll say, Tunde, what, you try to cause a murder? But like, we can't let Anthony fight that guy. You're mad. So listen, these guys need to fight some people. The young man is a very capable fighter. I see him. I've never actually watched the whole fight of him. I've seen like 1 or 2 rounds. But boxing is about attitude, and he seems to have a very great attitude, a very humble human being. But Joshua, don't let them guys gas you, because you don't want none of this. You don't want to fight us.
So who do you look at right now and say, you know what, like upcoming fighters, obviously outside of Anthony, that you look at and say, gosh, you know, love to have the opportunity to train him or have him under my wing, I could really do something with this guy. Is there anyone that you kind of see out there right now that you sometimes look at in that way? Yeah,
definitely. I think there's 3 fighters or 3 names that I like them. I like them. Number 1, Anthony Yarde. Number 2, Anthony Yarde. Number 3, Anthony Yarde. Okay. Those are the 3 fighters that I like. Anthony Yarde, Anthony Yarde, Anthony Yarde. Those are the 3 fighters that I watch day in, day out. Anthony Yarde, Anthony Yarde, Anthony Yarde. I don't know no other fighters but Anthony Yarde. And that's my job. That is my job, and I was not employed to watch another fight. I was employed to watch, train, manage, mentor Anthony.
We still going? Yeah. All right. And then, so tell us a bit about yourself. Like I saw on Box Rec you had 5 professional, was it?
5 professional fights.
Yeah.
Yep. Unbeaten.
Yeah, unbeaten.
5-0.
One KO as well, right?
5-0, 1 KO before I started eating like a supermodel and not having no strength in my body.
Is that what?
So then I had to use my skills, you know.
So I was curious because I didn't know the story myself.
Yeah, well, listen, I was a footballer. I had trials for West Ham, played for the Junior Lions, Millwall. Everybody thought I was going to be a footballer, but whatever you want to call him, Buddha, God, Allah, Jesus Christ, the universe, whatever takes your fancy. My son has Joshua has taken what everyone thought I was going to be. He is, and Joshua is about to start full-time at Crystal Palace in July. We're very proud of him, we're very happy with him, and that's his journey. You know, my journey. See, sometimes people try to direct you in a direction which is not really you, whether that be parents or nothing. I did with my son what my dad did with me. Just let him choose. You know, destiny will find its way. And Joshua is doing well. You know, he's being represented by good people. And so yeah, so football was what everyone thought I was going to be, but boxing is what I love. It's the passion that I follow. So yeah, I had 5 professional fights, 5 wins, 1 KO. But when I was fighting, I was actually training a young man called Junior McDonald, and he got all the way to the ABA final, and I wasn't even a trainer. You know, and he lost in the final of the ABAs to Tony Bellew on points. And then that particular fighter said that he wants to turn professional, and he said to me, I'm the one who's trained him, and he wants me to be his trainer as a professional. So people don't even realize that's how I got my license. I had no intentions of becoming a trainer, but Junior McDonald, and I'm be forever grateful, was the reason why I'm here today. It's the reason he started it. Because of him, I created a system of boxing, a company, and here we are today. So I'm
trained some pretty good names as well. Obviously, you've got Anthony at the moment, Spencer Veron. Harry Simon, former 2-weight world champion, Danny Williams, Kevin Mitchell, Craig Richards, Daniel Dubois. The list goes on and on. Every fighter that I've been involved with has become a champion. The 2 young boys dominating the amateurs right now on a junior level, I've trained them since they was 8 years and 10 years old under my system. That's Adam Azim and Hassan Azim. They both were, I think, some of the first 2 brothers to both win the multi-nations on Sunday just gone. They are products of System 9 boxing, my system. So right back in the day when Junior got to the final, I said to myself, I must be good at this. So I just kept on going. And this Stamina for Sale?
Yes.
That's your brand?
That's my company.
Yeah.
It's a limited company.
How's that kind of evolved?
It's just, I mean, when I really have to take a deep breath and see how this whole thing has just evolved over the years. You know, right from the days of when the first corner I ever worked was a championship fight. A lot of people don't know my history. The first corner as a professional trainer I ever done was a 10-round Southern Area championship fight. Spencer Veron against Gilbert Eastman at the Alexander Palace. It was the first time I ever been in a corner. It was the top of the bill was Dave Walker against Roman Karmazan for the European title. And I was thrown in at the deep end. I mean, there's not many people in boxing that can say that their first ever corner was a championship fight. I mean, as the head coach, not as an assistant. I was the head coach of a championship fight. So I'm deep, I'm full of experience, I'm full of knowledge, even though I'm a young person in the game. So Stamina for Sale was a name that just came about, and it's evolved into a company, into a brand. We've now got Stamina for Hair, which is the hairdressing side of the brand.
Doing hair recovery.
Hair recovery. You know what? You're the second person. You are the second person who said that, and I'm gonna mention that to my cousin today, because at my son's birthday last week, someone said, do you do hair recovery as well? And on the way home, my cousin Eddie, he said, you know what, I think I might have to go into this, but at the moment it's just
a big business.
Yeah,
people
so you never know.
like Turkey, Middle East, and all that together.
Eddie, there's a job opportunity there for you, son. So yeah, so maybe we'll get into that, but at the moment,
I'll be customer number one as long as you're giving me mates rates.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. So yeah, so you know, everything is under the brand, and Stamina for Sale has now, after the fight, it's already, the platforms are there. System9boxing.com. It's the first app created by Matt Groves, who's a tech entrepreneur. He met me a few years back, and he said that the world has got to know what's going on, and so the app has been approved by Apple. So it's available to download on Apple iStore. Is it Apple
iTunes?
And
yeah.
Apple iTunes. Available on Spotify, on Android, and I don't know nothing about.
Don't worry, we'll add the link on at the bottom.
Yeah. So that's all ready to go. But we're not, we're gonna formally announce it, have a big press day and everything like that. But the app's there. You can download it. The website is up. So this is great. This came from a dream, and it's why I say, dream it, believe it, become it. That's what I keep saying. Dream it, believe it, become it, because most of us have dreams. Most of us go to bed and dream at night. Then you got to wake up from that dream, start believing it, but then you actually got to do the work. And that's the part where most people feel fool, because it ain't no, like I told all the youths in my area, don't be looking at us on TV thinking that, yeah, maybe someone slipped some money, a brown envelope in a pocket. It's hard work. Hard work. But myself and Andy are here to motivate, we're here to inspire and show you that it can be done.
No, it's definitely very inspiring. And I guess the last question is to wrap up, but from a trainer perspective, we were talking to Anthony, like, when you're in school and you get into a fight and you pick that fight after school, the adrenaline's running, your hands start getting a bit sweaty as you're walking up and whatnot, and sometimes you're a bit shaky, whatnot, and he says as a professional fighter he's kind of overcome that and doesn't get that. What's it like as a trainer? Because you can't throw the punches for him, so...
Well, maybe I know something that you don't know, but we won't get into that. But I don't know if Andy would ever say that, because I wouldn't. When I was fighting after school, there were no sweat running from my head and no shaker. I was looking to knock you out. I was known as the best fighter in school for a reason. There weren't no nerves. I'm not a nervous person. Nerves is something you put on yourself. If you can only be nervous if you're there. It's the hormones of stress. The hormones of stress create a vibration in your body which makes you nervous. I don't have those hormones. I'm very confident. And the reason why I'm so confident, and the reason why nerves or pressure doesn't really get to me, is because I work so hard that when I get into that ring, I've done my job. And if I've been saying it for years, trainers need to give themselves more credit. So I don't really mind if people think I'm boasting. How comes Tunde's always talking about himself? Well, guess what? The fighter is a reflection of the trainer, not the other way around. The fighter, and I'm gonna say this for all you trainers out there, start being confident in yourself. The fighter, there's no such thing as bad student. The Chinese have a saying, there's no such thing as bad student, only bad teacher. And so, if I do my work to the best of my ability, what am I worried for? Because I know nobody don't work harder than me. As a coach, I know no trainer works harder than me. I may be wrong. Well, guess what? If I'm wrong, you know what? You're gonna bring your fighter. That's what they do in it. That's in the Asian, like the martial artists. We meet up and we see who's the best. And then the head, the sensei, the Zen master will be credited for his students. So I'm like, I've done my work, I've worked hard, and I feel that Anthony has extra confidence, not going into the ring line that your trainer don't work like my trainer. It's not boasting. I'm just giving myself credit, because if you can't credit yourself for anything you do in life, then it's kind of hard to want other people to credit you. You know, so there's a thin line between being boastful and being humble. I'm a humble person. I'm not bragging or boasting, because I know how serious the sport is. It's not about bragging and boasting, but know for surety that I work hard. And when you come against anyone that I train, which is only Anthony, you're going to be in for a good fight.
Tunde, thank you very much.